जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय। गोपी जना वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपी जना वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपी जना यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन नंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय। गोपी जना वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजक आचार्य अष्टोत्तर सदस्य श्रीमद इस डिवाइन ग्रेस ए.सी. भक्तिवेदांता स्वामी शिला प्रभुपाद की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। समवेत भक्तवृंद की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। ओम विष्णु नमः ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशधारिणे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Today we are reading from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 9, titled The Appearance of Demon Vritrasura. Text 34. These are the prayers offered by the demigods to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This verse is in a prose format, so I will read, you can just hear. Later we will do the word-to-word meaning. Durvabodha iva tavayam vihara yogo yad asharano asharira idam anavekshitatmat samavaya atmanaiva vikriyamanena sagunam agunaha srajasi pashi harasi. Word to word meaning, please repeat. Durvabodaha, difficult to understand. Eva, quite. Tava, your. I am this. Vihara yogaha, engagement in the pastimes of material creation, maintenance and annihilation. Yat, which. Asharanaha, not dependent on any other support. Ashariraha, without having a material body. Idam, this. Anavekshita, without waiting for. Asmat, of us. Samavayaha, the cooperation. Atmana, by your own self. Eva, indeed. Avikriyamanena, without being transformed. Sagunam, the material modes of nature. Agunaha, although transcendental to such material qualities. Srijasi, you create. Pasi, maintain. Harasi, annihilate. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada. O Lord, you need no support. Although you have no material body, you do not need cooperation from us. Since you are the cause of the cosmic manifestation and you supply its material ingredients, without being transformed, you create, maintain and annihilate this cosmic manifestation by yourself. Nevertheless, although you appear engaged in material activity, you are transcendental to all material qualities. Consequently, these transcendental activities of yours are extremely difficult to understand. Purport. The Brahma Samhita 5.37 says, Goloka eva nivasati akilatma bhutaha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is always situated in Goloka Vrindavana. It is also said, Vrindavanam parityajya padam ekam na gacchati. Krishna never goes even a step from Vrindavana. Nevertheless, although Krishna is situated in his own abode, Goloka Vrindavana, he is simultaneously all-pervading and is therefore present everywhere. This is very difficult for a conditioned soul to understand, but devotees can understand how Krishna, without undergoing any changes, can simultaneously be in his abode and be all-pervasive. The demigods are understood to be various limbs of the Supreme Lord's body, although the Supreme Lord has no material body and does not need anyone's help. He is spread everywhere. Maya tatam idam sarvam jagat avyakta murtina. Nevertheless, he is not present everywhere in his spiritual form. According to the Mayavada philosophy, the Supreme Truth, being all-pervasive, does not need a transcendental form. The Mayavadis suppose that since his form is distributed everywhere, he has no form. This is untrue. The Lord keeps his transcendental form, and at the same time he extends everywhere in every nook and corner of the material creation. Umajnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sva Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhan Vitamsya He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dhinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namosude Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha kalpatharubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patithanam bhavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. The demigods are seeing the form of the Lord after going through the tribulations of the pain inflicted by the defeat of the battle against Vritrasura. So when someone is thirsty and you give them water, they will appreciate water better than a person who is not so thirsty. So here, just when the situation is going to get more worse, the demigods understood that it's a time for us to surrender and to call for the Lord and ask for His help. And here the Lord is present before them, in His four-handed form. And as soon as we see the Lord, what do? We offer prayers. So here, the demigods are offering their prayers, and they are going to petition the Lord to protect. So, the aspects of prayers include putting forward one's fallen state, and how one is very embarrassed to stand in front of the Lord and ask for material favors, how low he feels about himself, and then pray to the Lord to give His mercy, to give His blessings, so that the conditioned soul can attain perfection. So now this perfection is different for different living beings. So the demigods, as we discussed many times, they are also devotees of the Lord, but they are attached to the facilities, attached to the concept of being the owner and enjoyer and the Lord. That mentality is still there, and that is getting purified as they are engaging in the Lord's service. If the perfection is taken to be attaining Brahma Jyoti, if that is your goal, then your vision and the process all will be different. And if your goal is to attain Vaikuntha, and within Vaikuntha more specifically to Goloka Vrindavan, then your vision and the process that you follow to attain that goal, all of that will be different. So that if the destination is heavenly planets, then you follow the rituals in the Vedas, which encourage you to worship the demigods, offer your oblations to them, and then gradually elevate it. But here we see that heaven is not always heaven. Heaven is not always heaven in the sense that you have trials and tribulations there as well. You have enemies attacking. You have higher grade of enemies attacking, and you you lose your position, you make mistakes, and that which you wanted to enjoy is taken away from you. Now here is where we learn the lesson. Even the demigods are praying to the Lord for their own protection and for their own well-being. Then why not we pray to the Lord instead of praying to the demigods? Because you're seeing that demigods themselves are praying to the Lord for their protection, for their well-being, as they were telling yesterday in the previous set of prayers. You are the supreme benediction. You are the supreme experience. You are welfare personified. So those aspiring to go to heavenly planets should take a note of these prayers offered by the demigods to the Supreme Lord and how they are addressing Him. If you are thinking your supreme experience is going to be heaven, well, it's not the case. Because those in the heavenly planets, the demigods, they are also praying to the Lord and they are addressing Him as the supreme experience, as the welfare personified, as the supreme benediction. So we must be praying for something, we must be aspiring to go to that place. Having gone, you never come back. That's why a few days ago in the Bhagavatam class, Aniruddha Prabhu was mentioning about looking at the place of the abode of Vishnu, and that is Param Padam, and having focus to go there. Om Tad Vishnuhu Paramam Padam. Having gone, Krishna says, you never come back. Yad Gatva Na Nivartante. So if your goal is Param Padam, then you are not allured by the happiness, the opulence that you enjoy in the heavenly planets. You are not attracted by all of that because you are aiming for something higher and which is permanent. We are not aspiring for something temporary. In this particular verse, the demigods, who are all the appointed administrators of the Lord, who are all the empowered representatives of the Lord, who help the Lord in His creation pastime, they themselves are admitting several facts. The qualities of the Lord are being brought out, and their helpless situation is also being highlighted simultaneously. They are praising the Lord. Yesterday, the Lord was praised in the form of O Narayana, O Vasudeva, O original person. We read all of those, the supreme experience. Then the devotees of the Lord are also praised. And only the devotees can know the Lord. Because these devotees who have given up everything and who preach, who wander about the world to preach Krishna consciousness, fully absorbed in samadhi, only they can know the Lord. And demigods are admitting here, we do not know you because you created, you were present before we came. And here they are expressing, in this verse, they are expressing the glories of the Lord and their helpless situation. The Lord does not need any support. That's the first point that is being brought out. The Gita, Lord Krishna explains that He is the support. Mata, Dhata, Pitamaha. Dhata word means support. He is the support. He does not need any support. And that's why he is called as Jagat Ashraya, the support of the entire universe, and he is the support of himself. Swayam Ashraya Ashrayaha. He does not need any support. That's the first theme that's coming up. Second is, you don't have any material body. You don't need any cooperation from us. These are demigods praising the Lord. Now, here is where the cause and effect is coming up. Since you are the cause of the cosmic manifestation and you supply its material ingredients without being transformed. So the ingredients are supplied by the Lord. So, as per material calculation, if I go to a warehouse and then I start loading things from the warehouse to be delivered somewhere else, the stock in the warehouse reduces. If we apply the same concept, and that is the mistake which the Mayavadis make, which we will come to shortly, is that as the ingredients are supplied by the Lord, and because the Lord is present everywhere, He loses His form. And that is being refuted in the purport by Srila Prabhupada in his usual Mayavad condemnation style. He quotes various sources. So the cause is the Lord Himself, the ultimate cause. The material cause are the ingredients, and the demigods are helping in the creation process, assisting Him. But the Lord actually doesn't get transformed. He remains as He is. Without being transformed, what do? You create, Srajasi, you maintain, Pasi, and you annihilate, Harashi. Or you're doing it all by yourself without getting transformed. And this, from an outsider, it looks like a material activity. So, the demigods are saying, nevertheless, although you appear to be engaged in material activity, you are transcendental to all these material qualities. Consequently, these transcendental activities of yours are extremely difficult to understand. So, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, commenting on this particular verse, he gives the analogy of a potter. So, what does a potter do? Makes pot. Very good. What is required for making a pot? Clay. Very good. Someone else? Potter's wheel. Yes. What else? Water. Potter himself. All of these ingredients. Anything else required? Energy to move the potter. Okay. So you're able to picture a potter sitting in the mud of a pile of clay, trying to put it on the wheel and then make a pot. Have you seen that before? Yeah. So, Acharya explains that the potter, to make the pot, he needs a support. He has to sit on something. Then he needs the ingredients. The potter wheel, all of that, and as Prabhu said, he needs energy to do that. And while getting the pots done, when the pots are being made, the mud, the clay, it is undergoing transformation. And how about the potter? Can he remain completely clean when he is doing this activity of making a pot? That's not reality. He is going to get his hands dirty as he is making this pot, which means he is getting affected and transformed by that whole process. Right? Now, Acharya explains that the Lord doesn't undergo any of these changes. We still need mats to cover the wire. So put some other mats on the wire, please. So the Lord does not undergo any of these transformations. First of all, He doesn't need a support. The ingredients are coming from Him, and as the ingredients are coming from Him, it doesn't mean that He is losing something is taken out of Him. That's why Ishopanishad, the beginning itself says, complete units are coming out of Him, but still He remains as a complete unit. Purnam Ada, Purnam Idam. In the word-to-word meaning, Prabhupada will use the word complete whole. He will put capital C, capital W to indicate that's for the Lord. The complete units that are coming out are the universes. And the material ingredients for creating all of that universes is coming out from Him, but still He remains as a complete unit. So the Lord doesn't need a support, He doesn't need a material body to do this. He doesn't need the cooperation from the demigods to do this activity also. And He doesn't get transformed, He remains aloof from this activity. So this is the correct understanding of how the Lord, even though He is engaging in this activity, He is not affected by it, and He still maintains His transcendental form. So this is going against what the Mayavadis say, that the Lord need not have a transcendental form, because for them their goal is Brahmajyoti and their process is philosophical speculation, and their limited conception they apply on the Lord also. For them, the unlimited Brahman, all-pervading, all-powerful, does not need to have a transcendental form, because the form is distributed everywhere and therefore there should be no form. But the correct understanding is that the Lord does have a transcendental form. And Prabhupada is quoting 9.4 Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna says, "By me, in my unmanifested form, the entire universe is pervaded." Up to this point, if you read and stop, yes, the Lord is present everywhere and all-pervasive aspect. He doesn't stop there. He goes and speaks the next verses also. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. And yet everything that is created does not rest in me. It's not like Lord has to have a lot of pain and He's carrying this globe on His shoulder and He's feeling pain and He's getting affected. So as the population in the world increases, He is going to, more population. No. He is aloof from all of that, and it is His separated energy. So in the purport to 9.4, Srila Prabhupada explains to clarify this, the concept of how the Lord is present in His abode, at the same time He is present in the material world through His various energies and administration, and all of that is going on. Prabhupada uses the example of a king. A king has his power over the entire kingdom, and he has got various ministers who are carrying out various activities. All of them are empowered by the king. Because his influence is spread throughout the entire kingdom, that doesn't mean that the king does not retain his individuality and he does not have a place to live. He has his own palace, he has his own place to live. Still, his influence is spread throughout the whole kingdom. So this is the first analogy we can remember to understand this concept. The second analogy Prabhupada gives is the sun rays and how the universes are resting on the effulgence of the Lord. He uses the analogy of planets existing in the universe and how they are all held by the energy of the Lord. It's not that Lord has to go to every universe and hold them. It is held by the energy of the Lord. Even if we look at the energies of the Lord, like earth, water, fire, air, ether, all of them, their influence can also be felt not just near them, but at a certain distance away from them. So that's why fire, if it is present in one place, the effect of it, heat and light, can be seen and felt from a distant place. Have you noticed? If fire is lit somewhere, you're going near there, you can see the fire. And as you approach, you have not approached the fire so closely, but still the heat you can feel. So the fire is present in one place and it is diffusing its energies of heat and light to far away places. In the same way, if we look at earth, the earth has a magnetic field around it. So that's why the gravitational force pulls things back. So when we are supposing we want to go against the gravitational force, you need to go, for launching rockets, they need to go beyond a certain point where they don't feel the gravitational pull of the earth. You see the point where the gravitational pull of the earth is felt much above the earth itself. So even the material ingredients which are coming from the Lord are able to exert their influence way beyond their physical presence. Why not the Lord, who is the source of all of them, why can't He exhibit His influence throughout the entire universe? Now, another contemporary example that came to my mind is how, in recent times, working from home, remote working and all of that, you have, and this has been there even before. Prabhupada used to say even that his recordings are there, which means he's present in that voice. So if it is being played somewhere else, then Prabhupada is present there as well. So for us, when we have those meetings online, so you are present in your place, but your image is projected on the screen of every participant of the meeting. But you are not going to everyone's house individually, but you are present. So these are some ways that we can try to understand by examples how a person can sit in one place and still have his influence, his presence felt in other places. Next, Prabhupada establishes the fact that the Lord has His own abode and He is present in Goloka Vrindavana. But before establishing that, in the previous purport, because current purport talks about Goloka, the previous purport Prabhupada explains about various realizations. When we are talking about the material ingredients, they're all coming from the Lord, and for every individual universe, we have Vishnu corresponding to that universe, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, Kshirodakshaya Vishnu, and then we have a universal form of the Lord. And the demigods are part of the universal form of the Lord, and they are assisting the universal form in the creation. Of course, we know the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, Kshirodakshaya Vishnu, they are coming from Mahavishnu, who is one layer above them, and that's what was discussed yesterday. And then the Chaturvyuha, Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna and Aniruddha, who are beyond the three forms of Vishnu. He is in Vaikuntha, Narayana. Above the realization of Narayana is the realization of Baladeva, and above that is the realization of Krishna. So this hierarchy, as we would have heard many times, the Chaturvyuha, where they come from, Narayana, and then above them there is another Chaturvyuha, and above them is Lord Baladev, and Baladev is expanded from the Lord. So the greatness of the Lord is being understood first, as at least as my understanding. Prabhupada is putting the greatness of the Lord in yesterday's purport, and he is describing the sweetness of the Lord in today's purport. The reason to understand the greatness and all the details is the sequence in which Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also presented this sequence. If just going through teachings of Lord Chaitanya, where all these expansions are all described in detail. And then only the sweetness of the Lord is being described. For performing pastimes, of course, the expansions are called as Leela Avartas, and then the universal affairs are being carried out by the Purusha Avatars. Of course, we have empowered incarnations who are the Sakti Avesh Avatar. And then for the in charge of the modes, we have the Guna Avatars. When explaining the greatness, we see how much this single Supreme Person, he is expanding at different levels. And I heard this very important point about how each expansion is trying to serve the expansion above them. So the universal affairs are maintained by Mahavishnu, and in that way he is serving the Supreme Lord. And in that case, in that way we understand that the potency, all the 64 qualities are with Purna Purushottam Bhagavan, Sri Krishna, and his expansions have them in portion or in entirety. So they also get attracted to the two-handed form of the Supreme Lord in Goloka Vrindavan. And they are serving the expansion above them so that they teach us a lesson and how to serve. And also, they are also attracted to the two-handed form of the Lord, proving that that form of the Lord is supreme and most attractive. And that's when we see here this presence of the Lord in Goloka. Goloka eva nivasati akilatma bhuta. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is always situated in Goloka Vrindavana. So how do we understand? The next statement is that Krishna never steps out of Vrindavan. So the technical explanation which we saw earlier, which is the different expansions of the Lord, where they are coming from, the topmost in the hierarchy is Krishna himself in the Swayam Rupa form. It is that Swayam Rupa that does not leave the Vrindavan. For carrying out duties in Mathura, Dwaraka, killing the demons, the Vasudeva portion of the Lord goes and does all of that. But the Swayam Rupa, as Prabhupada explains, never leaves Vrindavan. That's what Prabhupada writes here. Krishna never goes even a step from Vrindavana. As soon as we discuss about Vrindavana, we also remember the various pastimes of the Lord, the wonderful devotees of the Lord in Vrindavan. So who are some of the topmost devotees in Vrindavan, who you know of? Yes. Balaram, very good. Srimati Radharani, Sudama, okay. So these yes, the gopis, okay. Nanda Maharaj, mother, Yashoda, okay. So these devotees are given a special category and they are classified and put in that category because of the special qualities. So the qualities that they have is the spontaneous, intense, deep attachment to the Lord. They have the spontaneous, intense, deep attachment to the Lord, and this attachment to the Lord is their very essence. That's why they are called. So the intense, spontaneous, intense, deep attachment is a raga, and their very essence, their existence, that is, if you take that as Atma, so that's why they are the raga, Atmika devotees. Their very essence, their core of sustenance is coming from their spontaneous, deep, intense attachment towards the Lord. Now, as you all described various devotees, these devotees, do they keep quiet? Do they do nothing in Vrindavan? What do they do? Like the examples that you gave, what are they doing? Mother Yashoda, Nanda Maharaj, what are they doing? Serving Krishna. In what way? So take one example. Mother Yashoda, how is she serving Krishna? Very good. Vatsalya Ras. How does it manifest in action? Does she meditate? I'm doing Vatsalya Ras like that. What does she do? What is her activity? She gives motherly affection. Yeah. What? She makes butter. Okay. So there is an activity which is seen externally, and there is an internal mood which is there. The internal mood is taking the form of churning butter, boiling milk, herding the cows, playing with Krishna, carrying him on their shoulders, or if Krishna loses, Krishna carries them on his shoulders. Sometimes if Krishna is walking on a forest and there are stones in the forest, then each devotee feels and expresses their devotion to the Lord in a different way. I don't think she should be doing all of that. Ask her to sit properly. So each devotee is expressing their devotion in a particular form. As you all explained, Mother Yashoda's devotion comes out in the form of churning butter, boiling the milk. So the mood is internal, and that is taking a form, and that form, how it comes out depends on the rasa, as you all pointed out. You're all at a very high stage, you know what rasas. So the form which the manifestation that comes out depends on the rasa that you have. So these Ragatmika Bhaktas, all of them have a common thing, which is spontaneous, intense, deep attachment to the Lord. And that is their Atma. And they exhibit their devotion, and that devotion takes different forms. And these different forms are dependent on different rasas. So, this scenario of Krishna, Lord Krishna walking in the forest, and the stones are there, and he's going to feel pain. Now the parents, they exhibit, Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj, they want to make a shoe for Krishna. So their Vatsalya Rasa is taking in the form of making a shoe for the Lord. So the Rupa is Vatsalya, but the essence is there, Raga. So that's why we have Ragatmika Bhaktas exhibiting their devotion to the Lord, and the way and they express it takes different forms. Now the friends of Lord Krishna may want to carry him on his shoulder so that he doesn't have to walk. So their devotion is taking the form of friendship, Sakya Rupa, Vatsalya Rupa. The gopis may want to embrace the feet of the Lord. So that is their way of showing their devotion. And that takes the form of kama. Externally it may seem these activities of a mother churning butter or someone carrying someone else on their shoulder or girl embracing the feet of someone else. So these may seem to be like mundane activities, but internally they are all motivated by this spontaneous, intense, deep attachment. So therefore we have a rupa which is preceded by these different emotions. If it is kama, then it takes kama rupa. If it is vatsalya, it takes vatsalya rupa. And these ragatmika devotees exhibit their devotion to the Lord in these various forms. The key point is devotion is expressed through service, and that service takes different forms. Here also, the concept of service is being discussed by the demigods. You don't need our support, you don't need our assistance, but we need that service and we need your protection, and therefore please protect us. So, for us as practicing devotees, we should also be in this mood where it's not that the Lord needs our service, we need service. We need to serve the Lord so that we can be purified. We can be, our senses can be purified. Because in contaminated state, we cannot understand the Lord. So when we engage in His service, starting by serving through the tongue, by chanting and tasting prasadam, sevan mukhehi jivado, then we can understand the Lord. So we desperately need service, and Lord is not dependent on our service. Service in the temple has been happening even before we came, service is happening while we are here, service will happen even if we are not here. Someone else will do it. That's why in the Ramayana, this scenario where Lord Ram is about to cross the ocean, then the ocean personified will not appear, so then he will cast his angry glance and the ocean personified will come, and then he'll say, I'll part and you can pass through, but I have a suggestion. I suggest that you build a bridge on top of me and then you reach Lanka through that. Then your name and fame will be spread more wide. So Lord Ram will engage the entire monkey army to do that seva, to do that service, because he could have built a bridge with his arrows. He doesn't do it. He engages all of them in this service so that they are engaged, and the potency of the name of Lord Rama is also brought out, because in every stone they will write Rama and then the stone will float. It increases faith, the service, they are getting engaged in the seva. It is the same mood that Krishna also will engage Arjuna, and he will ask him, become my instrument. Engage in my service. Mam anushmara yudhyacha. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anushmara yudhyacha. When showing the universal form, the Lord will say, I have killed all of them. But you act as a medium, you act as an instrument. Shh. You act as an instrument and you take the credit. Nimitta matram bhava savya sachin. You act as an instrument for me. Now this is a key point where when we act as an instrument, what happens is the Lord's energy, the internal energy, when we are engaging the Lord's service, the internal energy flows through us, it encourages us, it uplifts us, it motivates us, and it also purifies us. So that's why we need to understand that the Lord doesn't need our service, but we definitely need to be engaged in His service. And that's why all the inspiration that we got by hearing the various devotees in Vrindavana, how they are engaging in service to the Lord, we follow in their footsteps. We start following in their footsteps after we have become sufficiently purified. Till that point, what do we follow is the rules and regulations. We follow the path of Vaidhi sadhana. The key point in the Vaidhi sadhana is always remember Krishna and never forget Him. And then the do's and don'ts are given to us, and that's why the spiritual master, when he gives initiation, that's what he gives, the methods, rules, regulations, to bring about the natural devotion in you. That's what he gives you. And then you start following. And as it is described, when the contamination in the heart is sufficiently removed and you have attained the platform of Nishtha, then you may choose to follow the spontaneous devotion path under the guidance of your spiritual master. So that is the Raga Anuga. Anuga means you follow somebody, and who is that somebody? That is the Ragatmika devotees, and the emphasis is still given on serving, but the mood, the intensity, the focus is directed towards a particular devotee who is engaged in the service of the Lord in a particular mood. Now, during the transition and during the practice of the devotion, the Lord is acting as a support, because here the theme of support is being brought out, and the theme of service and the dependence on the Lord is being brought out. He is acting as a support through various ways, through the presence in the holy name, presence in the deity form, presence in the scriptures, presence through his representatives. If you notice this phenomenon of being present in one place and exerting their influence, exerting his or her influence outside their realm of physical presence, we can see the concept in Guru Tattva also. So when I was going through this, I applied the same principle on Prabhupada. How the Lord is present in one place, His effect is seen everywhere. Similarly, Srila Prabhupada is present in one place and His effect is seen in many places. Okay. So, what are the different ways in which Prabhupada's effect is felt in your life? Can you name some? How do you feel Prabhupada's presence in your life? Sorry? By his books, which are like his devotional ecstasies. So we see how the Lord expands in various forms, and He is giving us support by attracting us, by performing various pastimes. He has various devotees, they are engaging in the Lord's service. Similarly, we have the presence of Prabhupada. One is through his books. His presence is still being felt. He is back with the Lord, engaging in his pastimes, or he may be preaching somewhere, I don't know, don't want to speculate. But still, we feel his presence. And simultaneously, in different centers of ISKCON, the morning program, afternoon, all the pujas are going on throughout the globe. His presence is there in various temples. And wherever his lectures are played, he is present. How else will you feel his presence? What are the other ways? Any ideas?
This
through his disciples. Very good point. We have Prabhupada's disciples. When they come, we feel their presence and Prabhupada's presence also. Through, when you're reading Lilamrita, you feel his presence. Very good. The different temples that Prabhupada has created, which are like the spiritual embassies in the material world. Yes. By the pictures of Prabhupada, okay. By his lectures, by his deity form. And whenever we are engaged in devotional service as per his instructions, we feel connected to him. Especially engaging in fulfilling the 7 purposes of ISKCON in various capacities, and that itself includes the potent forms of devotion. It's included in there. One can feel the presence of Srila Prabhupada, how the mercy flows through you, how you're empowered, how you're connected, even though he's not physically present with us. So, this is how we understand the tattva of the different expansions of the Lord, how he manages the universe, and still how he retains his individuality. He is in Goloka and he is having sweet pastimes with the Lord. How we get inspired by his dealings with the various devotees and how the devotees express their devotion through various forms, how we get inspired by them, follow in their footsteps, how the Lord is supporting through Guru, through the entire Guru Parampara, through the scriptures, through the holy name, through the association of the devotees, the 9 processes of devotion. So he is giving us support. So I'll leave it there and see if there are any questions or comments on what we discussed today. Krishna is?
Krishna said that every living being is in him and he is knowing us. But we see Krishna is also as Paramatma soul.
Yeah, so as Paramatma, he is present inside your heart, as you rightly said. As Swayam Bhagavan, the Swayam Rupa Krishna, at least till we reach Bhava and Prema, he may not want to come and sit in our heart. That's Swayam Bhagavan. So as Antaryami, he is present in the heart of every living being for that matter. But as Swayam Rupa Krishna, he is not present. Through his energies he is present, he is manifesting and maintaining. And that's what he means. So simultaneously present and not present. As through his energy, through his expansion, as Paramatma is present in living beings. But that's what I gave the example. It's not that Krishna is carrying us. So every time population increases, the globe goes heavier and then he has to know. He's not personally doing it. He's doing it through his energies. In that way he's present through his energies, but not present as Swayam Bhagavan. Okay, is that clear? Very good question. Okay, if there are no more questions, we'll conclude here. Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki jai, Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai.